So I'm going to make a holster for you guys, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But first I want to talk a little about holsters. I've collected many holsters over the years. Alienware, I have some Galco, some leather, you know, the XDs come with some. I have a whole tote full of them. But some of the best holsters that I've ever had, I've made. So when I first started making holsters, I like the sidecar, what they call the sidecar, for an extra mag. But I realized after a while that it's just so cumbersome. Like, I don't like it. It's just too bulky for what I like. Then I went to something like this. Very slim, low profile. You can carry it very easy. Anywhere. You can even carry this on like a fanny pack if you had to. Like a slim fanny pack, so no one can see it, tucked in. Works very well, all situations. I retired my XDS, my favorite carry gun, just because it's so little and thin. And I had to make a new holster because I carry the polymer80 Glock 26. And with an RMR. So this one is very functional. I have it so it sits very deep. Then I decided I want an option that worked on multiple guns. So here's a polymer80 Glock 19. Take that holster off, and I can use it on the polymer80 Glock 26. And this is very, very slim. Works with everything, and it's fairly secure too. You can also make outside the waistband holsters. And what's nice about this one is it's indexed off of the light, not the gun. So I can use multiple guns with this at the range. This is like my range holster. You just take the Glock 35 out. You know, you want to run the CZ today. Works great. The only thing you have to be careful about when making a holster, I took the clip off of this one, the belt clip, and put it on this one because this is the one that I use now. But I made this for my polymer80 Glock 19, and it works very well inside the waistband, even with the compensator. But when you put the Glock 26 in here, it appears like it's gonna work, but the barrel and slide aren't as long as the Glock 19, so it kind of sits uneven. So I had to make this one so it rides up a little bit higher, it's more balanced, and it feels very well. Everything's covered. Again, I don't like to put the impression of the gun in my Kydex. I index everything off the trigger guard because I don't want to get this all scratched up. In and out, it's gonna have very good retention. And that's how a holster should be. It shouldn't mark up your gun. So let's get to making one of these things. I'm gonna be making one of these, not exactly like this, for a polymer80 Glock 26 for one of my buddies who picked one up. So you don't need a lot to make a Kydex holster, but what you will need is something to heat it up. So I use a toaster oven, and I have a big steel plate in here that's very heavy, and it retains the heat. So if I have to remold, or when it does heat up, this stays hot. The Kydex lays directly on here, and it helps heat it up faster. I made a Kydex press. It's very easy. I stole it from somebody on YouTube. Super simple to make. I've had it forever. This has made hundreds of holsters for me and my friends, and it is just awesome. I have a cheap press that I made. This one is cheap, but I have a little one with hinges. This one with the car jack just works out so much better. You're gonna need some kind of rivets. I got quite a few, because I've made quite a few holsters. And you need something to set those rivets with. This is what I used to use, but since I've made so many and it's just easier, this is what I use now. This helps me get in the tight spots. But you don't need this. You can just go buy a cheap rivet setter from Hobby Lobby or your craft store. Also, you can buy belt loops if you need them. but I kind of like how it looks when you have a belt loop that is made out of the same material that your holster is going to be out of. It just looks cleaner. So what I have here is I just cut these wood slots, put the hot Kydex in here, push it down, and this will make different kinds of belt loops. You can pull them over this way, or you can make them long for outside the waistband. Before I started making holsters for all my friends, all I used to use was the toaster oven, the Kydex press, my Dremel, and the rivet setter, and that's it. 4 things. Tape. I forgot I used to use lots of tape. I don't have a gun mold, so what I'm gonna do is just tape up my polymer80 so nothing gets marked. I like to tape up everything real good. And since I'm somewhat copying this holster, I put a block of wood so when I slide the gun in, these screws don't hit my slide. So I want to put these, where do I want to put these at? About level with the RMR. You can put them up higher or lower, it just depends. That's going to be your ride height of your pistol in your waistband. I just taped this little block of wood on here. Now what we have to do is figure out if we're going to have suppressor height sights on it. I plan to have suppressor height sights on mine just so they'll co-witness a little bit better with the RMR. I might just add in the suppressor height sights clearance just because it's pretty easy. And for that, all I do is get a little wood stick like this and tape it. This one is not for this gun though, this one's a little bit too big. Now we have to pick out the Kydex, and this is always the hardest part when someone leaves it up to me to pick, because there's so many choices. He doesn't really like bright colors, so let's get rid of these bright colors. And he's a cop, so I'm thinking maybe this nice carbon fiber blue. A little over 4 inches. Line up my marks. And then I cut this with a Sharpie. With a Sharpie. That was funny. I cut it with a razor knife. Or a scalpel or X-Acto knife. X-Acto knife. Probably should have cut it a little bit better, and to make my belt clip. That one was a lot easier. A pro tip is to take your foam pad that you're going to use and put it on top of your toaster oven, because when you mold, it's warm now and it takes longer for the Kydex to cool down. It takes me once or twice normally to mold the Kydex right, because I want to get it perfect, because the better the mold, the more even the mold is, the easier my job is of shaping afterwards. Another thing, my foam, I got those mats at Walmart, the cheap workout mats, and just cut them up. They work really good and they last me quite a few times. When the Kydex gets like this, it is ready to mold, and it is hot. So I'm going to take it out of here and put it in my press. So lining it up is the key. I know it's kind of dark, but this is the process that I use. Try to line it up really well. Sneak my other foam pad in here. drill gets pretty tight, I hand tight a little bit. And then we wait about 5-10 minutes. We have to drill our rivet. I mark it with a marker and get everything marked out. Just draw lines where I think I'm trying to be. Hit the gun a couple times and get the final stroke with the Dremel. You just test fit it to how you want it to be. This is almost how I want it to be, and on this side I wanted to make sure I'm away from this mag release. What I like to do now is come in here and I dremeled all the edges inside and out, put a chamfer on them, and now I just come up here and I buff them out and I make everything really smooth inside and out, because I don't want this thing to be super tight. I have a rivet and I have a piece of hose the same diameter as the rivet. Make sure it's the direction you want. This is the front, so this is the front of the rivet. I have my rubber hose pushed down in there. Now we are going to make the belt loop. So I forgot to film, but all I did was heat this piece up, lay this metal on here, and then fold it down. That's how the clip's edges look. I'm gonna go wash everything up. So here's the holster and the clip. I'm actually gonna make these into slots. So I forgot to film making the slots, but the slots just work. You know, when you have this clip on, you can adjust it a little bit either way. The hard part's getting these screws lined up. Not bad. We know this one works because I carry this every day. Beautiful. Click in, come out nice and easy. Click in, come out nice and easy. But it's in there, it's not going nowhere. So there you go. Really easy, and it only took me about 45 minutes to make, and that was with filming. So anybody can do this at their home. Look at how nice that looks. And you see all the edges are taken care of. They're nice and smooth. Nothing's gonna gouge you or scratch you. And you gotta get to it, comes out. And look at it. There's no, there's no this cutting in to the Kydex. I just wanted to share with you guys an easy way how to make a holster. I've had them all. I've had the Alien Gear and the Galco and every other kind under the sun. T-Rex arms. They make great holsters, by the way, but you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get a holster. All you have to do is buy a piece of Kydex, a good holster that you will love probably more than any other holster, because what happens is when you make it, you can modify it to how you like, and you're not afraid to screw it up. You can come in here and trim off more here. You can make this longer or shorter. You can make it so it has suppressor height capability. cut for an RMR. The options are endless. Alright guys, well that's my take on how to make a holster. I'm going to give you some close-ups of some holsters that I've made in the past.